oxybenzone and octanoxate.
And octanoxate.
Those are
Say that 5 times fast.
This is why Leslie's here to help me. Those are the two biggest culprits. Now, they're also the ones that tend to make sunscreens feel like they filter into your skin, so make them a little bit more lotion-like. So when you're looking at a sunscreen that doesn't contain those, they're mineral-based sunscreens, and they sit on the surface of your skin. Right now, you can go back to the 90s, which is quite popular, in the 80s, and do the neon, white nose kind of thing. But that's not where the products are at today.
But that is the safe. The zinc products are a safe alternative
safer
to that.
alternatives to
Mineral-based.
Mineral-based.
And now because I was doing a little bit of research, despite what my co-host would have you think, talk a little bit about the difference between a sunscreen and how it sits on the skin and absorbs the rays versus a mineral-based, and you can correct me, that sort of deflects.
Exactly. So what ours is, and we use zinc is a good one, but we use titanium dioxide. It's more stable. It's very good UV filter, UV blocker. So the chemical ones are UV absorbers. You just rub it on your skin. Feels, it's nice and clear. Seeks in, and that's why you got to wait 30 minutes because it's got to soak into your fatty tissues before it can protect you from the sun. What ours is a physical sunblock. Sits on top of the skin and it bounces the UV rays off.
And I think that's the big, that's a big difference. That's something that's a chemical blocker versus something that's an actual physical blocker. Because when I read that, I was like, it really doesn't make sense that you're going to put a block on that's going to absorb the rays, and that's how it works to protect you. It's counterintuitive.
That's a lot of energy that your body is soaking in, and what happens? Those free radicals, it's got to go somewhere. So it disperses that energy inside your body, which is not a great thing.
Right. And if you look at the latest data from the CDC, 96% of the U.S. population actually has detectable levels of those two oxychemicals in their bloodstream. It passes to breast milk. It passes to amniotic fluid. And those chemicals are associated both in the marine environment as well as the human environment as endocrine disruptors, estrogen mimickers, and they're obesogenic. All of which is bad.
New things. Yeah, basically,
anything
it makes you fat.
Yeah, it makes you fat.
Anything that's mimicking estrogen is going to cause a vast amount of problems. So so that's none of that is in the Stream to See products.
None of that.
Correct.
Okay.
Completely chemical free.
Yes.
Because it's acting as that physical barrier. Now, there's also a certain way that you have to put those sorts of
Put it on?
Yeah.
You're going to apply it. Yeah, you're going to apply it a little bit differently than you would a chemical sunscreen because, again, logo's a long way. It's going to stay on top, and you don't need a ton like you would a chemical sunscreen. You got that stuff all over your body, and you're oily and greasy. With this, you do little pea-sized amounts, and you do it in small sections. So you don't just put a big glob down your arm. It's going to spread about that much because it's a mineral. It's a chalk. It doesn't want to spread. We try to add the least amount of oil possible so you don't have that heavy, greasy feeling that you get a lot of times with mineral sunscreens. So little pea-sized amounts, small sections dotted around, and then rub it in from there, and then move on to the next section. And then you're good. And it should be just a slight white sheen. But we also have our tinted formula, which I gave
I know.
some of that.
This bag is adorable. And I had some of the tinted before, and that is, I mean, I don't,
you like it?
I don't, for your face, but for my body, I'm like, well, whatever. But yeah, you don't, if you have that option, which you do, why not avail yourself of it, get a little bit of,
And when we do big sailboat trips, right? So we're 7 to 10 days on a sailboat, and I use one of the little bottles, right? And it takes me through almost the entire week. Now, mind you, I'm also wearing sun shirts. I'm not running around in a string bikini. Those days are long since gone. And a lot of times there's a wetsuit involved, or at least a short one. But you don't need a whole lot of this product to make sure that you're covered and that we don't end up getting burnt because it's blocking all of those harmful rays.
So a little goes a long way.
A little goes a long way.
Yep.
And that is completely safe then for the environment, the fish, the You know, now we were talking a little bit before the show about places that have actually completely banned the other chemical sunscreens.
When you look at some of the bans on chemical sunscreens, Palau is one of the ones that has made the news the most. The entire country has banned chemical sunscreens. Hawaii,
a big nice list.
Yeah, big nice list of almost all the they're called HEL chemicals.
Heretic slabs.
Yeah,
it's their list. So they banned everything.
Banned everything on the list so that it didn't make it into their marine environment or on their population,
because they were experiencing
some significant coral bleaching. Now, there's other things that go into coral bleaching. This is only one small piece of the problem, but if we don't address this piece along with the other ones, we're not going to fix the problem of coral bleaching. So they have done it. In the States, Hawaii was one of the first.
Hawaii, and it won't be enacted until 2021.
Okay.
But it's on the books, and they banned 2, oxybenzone octinoxate. The U.S. Virgin Islands has already enacted it, which is great. Yay. Virgin Islands, way to go. And they added octocrylene. So another one of the toxic O's. So oxybenzone octinoxate, octocrylene.
And they've been
all endocrine disruptors, some known carcinogens, not good stuff. You don't want to be putting it on your body. You don't want to be putting it on your kids, and you definitely don't want to be putting it into the waters.
Yeah. So when we go to St. Croix, you know that we will be bringing our Stream to Sea with us.
That's right. That's right.
Make sure you are stocked up.
Yes. And then Key West most recently was one of the most recent bans here in the United States. And they banned the 2 oxys.
Yes. They can't sell it. People can still bring it in, unfortunately, but at least you can't go to a CVS or Walgreens or whatever and buy the really toxic stuff and then get right into the water, which is what a lot of the people, do. They wait to buy their sunscreen until they get there.
Right.
So we are trying, and we have a lot of partners in Key West, and they've been fantastic in helping us protect the reef.
Yes. And Fort Myers Beach, that's something that I want us to consider. We have done a great job. Our Marine Resource Task Force has done an amazing job at implementing the straw ban, right? So we only have biodegradable straws. They're working right now on bags, reusable bags, so that our visitors and our residents alike can use reusable bags and not the plastic bags. They're right now working on a fertilizer ban so that we can do what we can to control the influx of red tide when it happens seasonally. And so I look at this as just the next step in the iteration, and see us do something similar to either Hawaii or Key West, where we go in and we go, look, we care about our water environment. We know this information. If you're coming to visit us, we want you to have the safest product for you and for our environment. And so we're going to educate you guys on why these are the products that we carry here on the beach, and hopefully people will then take that back home when they return home and start to spread the message.
Yeah. So you're looking at not only educating people, but also going to town council and seeing about getting a ban enacted, at least for the bad O's.
The bad O's. Yes, exactly. At least for now, if we could do all of the ones like Palau, might as well
list.
Might as well shoot for the stars. I think that would be awesome. Right. But because every little bit helps.
Yes.
Right.
Minerals the way to go. A lot of the companies, when oxybenzone gets banned or octocrylene, they just swap out one toxic chemical for another toxic chemical. And since it passes the ban, then they're allowed to sell it, which is still, we're still harming the reef.
Right. And it's still not good for us.
Exactly.
Right. So let's say, we may not get rid of the alcohol on the beach, and that might not be all that great for us either, but we're going to get rid of the bad chemicals in the sun.
At least let's start with that.
Let's start
with that. So then are there Stream to Sea products already on the beach that people can purchase when they come down to visit, or do they need to go to the website in advance?
We are in a lot of places, a lot of different dive shops. Scuba Vice carries us. It's a local dive shop here. Whole Foods, Lucky's Market. We're all over. But we also are on streamtosea.com and Amazon too.
Yeah. And if you go to streamtosea.com and you use the code REEFBOX, there's a discount. Yeah. They can get a discount off of their
discounts are good.
Discounts are very good. But we have it. We keep it at our house. We keep it in all of our dive bags. And I have to plug anybody that's in the water. This is my favorite product. Was my introduction to Stream to Sea, is the leave-in conditioner.
Which I have in my hair this morning because yes,
It's the best thing in the world.
yes, because you know whether you get your hair colored or you don't, if you and whether you swim in a pool or in salt water, it wreaks havoc on your hair. And so to have something that you can leave in and it goes in very clean feeling, it's not heavy.
And
It is
no
amazing.
ingredients that harm the reef or harm us too. So
Right,
yeah. And it's got keratin and panthenol, so it helps protect from the sun, the salt, and chlorine if you're in the pool. So it's a really nice protectant for your hair too.
So,
And I know we're talking a lot about sunscreen and that, but I was so excited when I was doing my research last night because you have the anti-fog now.
the Masty Fog.
Nasty fogger. So
Yes.
for anybody
Yes.
who, I don't, whether you are diving, for me, because when I'm swimming, I wear the big goggles because I have an injury on my face and the little tiny ones don't work. But you can't, that's a danger if you're out there swimming and you can't
gotta
see. And the spit doesn't always work and the baby shampoo, and I'm afraid to put toothpaste and scratch them. So you guys now have this product.
Right.
You just spritz it in there and you're good to go. How does that work?
Tiny little drop. What we've got now is a gel. We're working on a spray formula too. The gel, just tiny little drop in each side, smeared around, rinse it out. You're good to go.
Yeah.
No fog.
No fog whatsoever.
And
Have you-
completely safe.
Yeah.
We tested it out. So with Reef Box, we are very conscious about all the products that we put into our subscription box. And so we don't put them in unless we tried it out. So Megan and Autumn sat down at the DEMA show, which is a dive industry show, and had a conversation. And Megan goes, I fog up. She goes, I want to use something that's safe for the marine environment, but I fog up. And Autumn goes, I swear this will work. So we took a bottle, and we took a bottle of baby oil just as a backup on our 10-day dive trip in the BVI's over
Shampoo?
oil? Baby shampoo.
Yeah, I was like,
shampoo.
wait,
Baby
what?
oil.
No, baby shampoo.
That'd be good.
So a little baby, or her little thing of baby shampoo, and we took the Stream to Sea Masty Fog right on our 10-day BVI trip, and it worked awesome for everybody. We had 10 people on the boat. Everybody used it. No one had a problem with it. Certain defoggers, from a dive perspective, sometimes they're a little greasy after you put them on, and that almost makes it hard to see. Like you're constantly trying to clear your mask to get that cleared. No problem whatsoever. It was great for the environment. The baby soap went away, and now all the dive bags have Stream to Sea in them. So it's
Yay.
awesome.
Good job, Autumn.
Yeah, she did a great job. She did a great job.
And we're so excited to have her come down here on the 15th for the happy hour at 4 at
Happy hour at 4.
Bayfront Bistro,
At
which
Bayfront
is
Bistro.
inside
Please
the
come out.
marina, right?
Yeah, Snook Bite Marina behind Publix.
And she'll be talking. She's got quite a story to tell just of stuff that she's done. I mean, she is busy.
Yeah.
She is.
She's a rock star.
Someone texted me this morning. She's a cosmetic chemist, and someone was like, "What's that?" And I'm like, "Well, I think it's pretty inherent, you know." And so to have someone who has that background to mix these things up and make sure, because she's been doing the natural skincare product for a
very long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
She had another successful business before Stream to Sea.
Yeah. And she's an amazing resource. And the fact that she's willing to take time out of her packed schedule to come down and talk to us here on the beach, I'm super excited and feel very blessed that she was willing to take the time to do that for us. So come down. I'm sure that we'll be doing a little Facebook Live videos from there too, if you can't make it down to see that. But thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Anything else you would like to get out there?
No.
Because I'm getting the stink eye
Yeah,
over
I
here.
think we're getting, there's a hook coming. We're going to get pulled off.
Thank you, Ed.
Thank you,
Well,
Ed.
thank you so much for coming down. Thank
Thanks,
you
Kim.
so much
Thank you,
for
Kim.
the goodies. And this bag is adorable.
Super cute bag. You can get that
Super
on our
cute
website.
bag. And I will say that all of the products come in packages that are biodegradable and eco-conscious.
They are made from sugarcane resin, so they're not biodegradable because the product would start to biodegrade the container, but they are fully recyclable. But yeah, they're made from sugarcane resin.
We just
Alrighty.
reuse all of ours.
Well, thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
on down.
All righty.
All
Very
right.
nice.
Thank
Dave.
you.
Lovely
Oh,
job. You do a
geez.
lovely job. I'm going to read an ad, and then Dave's going to come on.
Okay.
We're going to get our first interview about the election coming up in March. But first, I want to tell everybody about the Fort Myers Tiki Tours. 239-887-0042 is the number to call. They have sunset tours. They have dolphin cruises, birthday parties. They have anniversary cruises. They are really cool. Some people have been posting pictures on Facebook about the cruises and about the about all the fun that they're having out in the Tiki Tours. 239-887-0042. They are located at Salty Sam's Marina, 2500 Main Street, Fort Myers Beach, Florida. And they're also on the World Wide Web at FortMyersTikiTours.com. So check them out. We love those guys. They've been really super cool with us. They've been a sponsor ever since before they launched, and we really appreciate that. So check them out, FortMyersTikiTours.com. Well, folks, you know there's an election coming up. Everybody that lives on Fort Myers Beach knows that there's an election coming up in March, and there are 3 open seats coming up in March, and 7 folks are running for the 3 open seats for the town council on Fort Myers Beach. And every Saturday at 9:30, we're going to have a candidate on. Almost all the candidates have agreed to come on. And Dave Drum is the first candidate to come back for his second visit. The first time we were stuck inside because it was raining outside. But Dave, thanks for coming back on. We appreciate your time.
Yeah, beautiful day today. You know, like you said, last time we even had a little rainstorm while we were posting. I thought, wow, it's going to be a little tough for the 7 million viewers to see, you know.
7 million.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you saying that, but all 9 people that are watching, they're possible voters. So first question, of course, is who is Dave Drum? Tell everybody that might be watching or listening who Dave Drum is.
Dave Drum's a plumber. I run a business right here on the beach. I live right here on the beach. Do business and speak to so many people every day. I really have a good feeling on the pulse of the beach for what's going on, business-wise and individual-wise. All my kids are grown. I'm not running kids to school anymore. I've got 8 children running around causing trouble for people.
8 kids.
8 kids. So proud of them all. There's not much else to know about me except for
Well, how long have you been on the beach?
I've been here. We're going into our 5th year now. We lived just off the beach before, but I mean, living in the middle of the beach here, 5 years.
So why did you decide you wanted to run for council?
No, it kind of came to me backwards. It was brought to me by a bunch of my pals that live near me. They came to me and said, hey, somebody's got to do it. And for one reason or another, this one couldn't and this one couldn't. And it really became, do I have an opportunity to do it? Can I put a microphone in my face and talk about things? Yeah, I can. So I thought, well, I'll take a shot at this, do my civic duty.
When they said somebody's got to do it, what do they mean by that?
That's really a big part of what my campaign, I think, is going to be. There's so many people like myself, old people in our 60s. We're trying to live a wonderful life out here on the beach. And there's so many small concerns from traffic to their taxes, to how code enforcement works, how the schools are operating, the Bay Oaks, the new projects in town. There are so many concerns, and some of it comes from just pure old fear. We want to maintain what we have right now, this wonderful beach living.
So when your friends were telling you what they were telling you, I guess they were under the impression that those things weren't being addressed.
Clearly, yeah. And even more than not addressed, they figure they felt that they're not being addressed in the right manner. It seems like more of a social club going on. I don't completely agree with that, but it does seem like more of a social club at times.
The council?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you some questions about the issues going on the beach, and the only answer you can't give, well, you can give any answer you want. It's a free country. But you can't say, I don't know. What is your solution for the lights on Estero Boulevard?
Solutions, I'm not going to be able to say, here's a solution, because it's complicated. But we can back up and say that this committee has come up with a plan. There's even a price tag on it, $750,000 price tag. It's not being delivered to us in town for various reasons. Somebody should have said go to this a long time ago. This plan has been available to enact for at least a year that I'm aware of. We need lights. We need lights. We've got to protect our walkers and bikers on the Estero Boulevard.
So as far as you understand the issue, why aren't there lights?
Nobody's pulling the ripcord on the plan downtown. The plan is available to vote on and enact. That's my position on it. That's what I believe is true.
So which plan are you in favor of?
There's a plan, and it was enunciated on your show, I guess, about 4 episodes ago, maybe 5, in regards to an agreement with the power company for their lighting. I believe it was the low intensity lighting and set at a low level, which solves a lot of the problems. Anyway, it's a complicated plan. I don't have all those details to say, oh, here they are. Here are the nuts and bolts of it. I don't.
Okay. What do you think should be done with Bay Oaks?
Done with Bay Oaks. What do you mean done with Bay Oaks?
Well,
torn down or built up or?
Well,
I think Bay Oaks is one of the most successful programs or projects and committees in town. They're doing a great job. People that I've been surprised to find out take advantage of Bay Oaks when I don't. I never go there, and I realize that so many people take advantage of their exercise program. There's how much the children in town can benefit from the Bay Oaks project down there. The community center activities that are going on. I don't take part in them. I'm finding that people really appreciate what's going on.
Do you think the majority of the residents on the beach take advantage of Bay Oaks or not?
No, I don't feel they do. Only because the demographics of it. Again,
what are the demographics of Bay Oaks?
If you look at my street, the majority of people are in their 60s and their kids have left town. School is not number one on our mind. A recreation center is not number one on our mind. Going to a kid's ball game is not number one on our mind. Not that we don't share those interests, but they're just not forefront.
Okay, what is the best plan for the foot of the bridge?
The best plan for the foot of the bridge is the plan that's being proposed now. The drawings that you look at for the Margaritaville coming in is really the plan to stop all this pedestrian traffic. And that's what the new design and the new plan is going to do. It's going to get this pedestrian traffic stopped back to Crescent. And I feel that that's a majority of our slowdown in the traffic coming both ways across the bridge. I don't have the details. I know that on the crosswalk, there's an elevator to the crosswalk. And I'm wondering how that's going to work out. I'm picturing people jumping a fence, finding a shortcut. Those are just concerns. But if you look at it on paper and look at a picture of it, it looks like a damn big improvement for us.
Well, there are several different plans for the foot of the bridge. Is there one particular that you're in favor of, or you want to see?
No, I don't. I haven't looked at it as far as plan A, B, C, and D. I know that the plan approved, not the DOT planning, but the plan that's been approved for Margaritaville coming in, which affects the whole base of the bridge. I'm in favor of that. There's a widened sidewalk. We're eliminating the crossing guard in the right on the corner there. There's some general improvements. They're not building a wider bridge. They're not building a walkway across Estero Boulevard at the base of the bridge. So there's really not a big change there.
Do you know how much the town pays the sheriff per hour or per day to be the crossing guard over there? And you're in favor of that continuing or something other than that?
Yeah, I don't have that number, how much they pay. I know they pay. The only aspect that I think it really needs to be addressed and potentially changed is the idea that the voluntary crossing sheriffs, they don't have authority to grab a hold of somebody and put a pair of handcuffs on them and move them along. They're just crossing guards with a fancy uniform. I really think we need, especially during our deepest part of the season, we need some authority down there. A lot of people talked about even just crossing people across on Estero Boulevard. they often stop traffic to allow one person to walk across the street. And it's been suggested, well, maybe there should be a little bit of a better plan there. Wait until there's several people backed up and then let them cross, just as if it were a traffic light. Anyway, there are, and you mentioned this, am I in favor? Do I know how much they're paying, and am I in favor of it? Whatever they're paying right now, I'm sure it's not just an imaginary number. They're just throwing money away. And we do need it. So we're going to have to continue to pay, I'm sure.
Right. Are you in favor of the sheriffs continuing to do it, or do you think that the town should pursue their own police department?
No, right now, I don't think any disruption, anything like a town police department. I think the sheriff's department is very capable, and they're very responsive to the things that the town wants.
Did you agree with the town raising taxes? And if that came up again, would you vote yes or no on raising taxes?
But raising taxes, our taxes aren't bad here on the beach. But taxes are raised to pay bills. I'm very, very, very much in favor of paying our bills. We can't borrow money and push things onto our children when we owe money, and when we've built things that cost money, we need to pay for it. And if that requires raising taxes to pay for it, we need to raise taxes to pay for it.
Okay. So are you in favor of the 3-year terms that we have now for council members, or the referendum that's coming up in March to change it to 4-year terms?
You know, I think I mentioned last time I was here, I have a disagreement with the idea of moving the election to coincide with the national elections. Increasing the term, I think increasing the term was just to make that possible, to move them down to November and coincide with the federal elections. I don't like the idea of them coinciding with federal elections for this very reason. We're off the election cycle right now.
Yeah. And
we have people running for council.
Yeah.
We can speak our needs about Fort Myers Beach and not get close to what's going on in the federal level or the state level. We can better express what Fort Myers Beach needs and not get consumed by the national politics.
So let's say you and 2 other members that feel the same way as you do about moving it to November, and perhaps not, I don't even know if this is something you can do, but if you and 2 other members that feel the same way that you do think that it should stay in March, would you try and prevent the referendum from getting on the ballot? I don't even know if that's possible. That's a dumb question. Skip that one. So, because you're going to be voting at the same time, so I'll just edit that part out. Is the town too heavy-handed with code enforcement?
No, I think it's a bad term, heavy-handed. There's things we can do. We can take exactly what we have now, operating exactly as they are now, and add a no-cost option in regards to how we handle the processing of a code enforcement complaint. And most people that I've talked to get scared when a piece of paper ends up on the door, code enforcement notice, and they don't realize that that's only the first step. They're really saying, please communicate with code enforcement. We'll show you how to address this issue without having to go to court or paying a fine or anything else. People don't realize that. They get a piece of paper and they're like, oh my God, now what am I going to do?
Yeah.
If people understood that a little bit better, I think they'd get along with code enforcement a lot better.
Have you heard from people in town that when you've been knocking on doors that's something that bothers them?
Yeah, over the past year or two. Actually, it's maybe let's go back even further than that.
Yeah.
It's always a constant thing. Some of it's legitimate and some of it's not. You know, I mean, I've certainly heard complaints about, I built a new addition on my house. I can't understand why they want to get me, why I need a permit to do it, which is certainly unreasonable because we want everybody to build something the way it should be built,
right,
and have code enforcement look after it. But there's also people that have said to me, right or wrong, said, I just want to replace one step on my house, just one board, and code enforcement came by and stopped me. Well, I don't know if that's really what happened, but that's their feeling.
Right. So I know people that are watching and listening are going to give me crap for this because I get on Roger's case a lot. But every town does look into whether or not their town manager is doing a good job or not. I mean, it's their job, the council's job or whatever board that hires somebody for $180,000. So I'm going to ask the question. I'm going to ask the question of all the candidates. Do you believe that Roger is doing a good job and is getting paid what he deserves to be paid?
You asked me this before, and I really haven't thought about it since then.
You're not allowed to say I don't know. You're running now. You're in. You're officially filed. You're not allowed to say I don't know.
What I said last time is probably the same thing. The 180,000. That's debatable. I know I answered it last time. Like, it doesn't bother me, but if other council members said it bothered them, I could be persuaded that it might be too high. Right now, that's not my position. The quality of the job that the town manager is doing, I don't have anything to specifically complain about. I really don't. I don't want to preclude myself from saying, hey, I just found out that these decisions have been being made and I wasn't aware of, and it really stinks. I don't want to preclude that position. But right now, no, I don't have any complaints.
So in 2 minutes, tell everybody listening and watching why they should vote for you.
Yeah, that's a good question. That's probably the best question of the whole bunch. The reason why you should vote for me is because we have there's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lack of communication for the members that have been on the town council in the past. I'm the kind of guy that gets out there and talks to people, and you can talk to me. I'm easy to talk to. And with that communication, I plan on bringing all of these items that I bump into to the council meeting and to any decisions that I'm a part of to make. If somebody calls me on the phone and says, "Hey, Dave, you're probably not aware of this, but such and such is going on the other side of town," I'll be there. I want to hear it. If it's one person or two people, I'm the kind of person that can follow through on that and carry that position if I feel necessary to the town council, and not exclude the town. In the past, people come out and said hello to everybody. They get elected, and that's the last time we see them. That's not me. No.
I don't know if I agree with that. I don't think that anybody on the council now is somebody that doesn't participate in the community. You pretty much see them everywhere. You don't agree with that?
No, I don't. No, I don't. You see them everywhere. If you drive up and down the street every day, like I do, and don't see them, that's one thing. If you go to all the local clubs and see them every day, that's
what do you mean by
thing.
Clubs? Bars?
No, that's not.
What do you mean by clubs?
Well, there's so many associations. There's the women's club. There's a Catholic church organization uptown. There are a lot of social organizations. There are people that are at every one of those. Yeah. Yet you don't see them up and down the beach. A matter of fact, somebody said to me just yesterday, I thought it was interesting, talking about this side of the beach and what's important here, and the other side of the beach. And he said, I don't know about town council. I don't think that they're paying attention to us Southies.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, isn't the beach the beach? What's going on in the South?
Yeah. But it really caused me to think about it. I realized, well, the South Side there is a little different attitude. It's not
cliquey down there, huh?
Well, no, it's it's not a beach treat. It's not the kids coming out for spring break down there. Yeah. It's more of a year-round thing. There's a bar crawl up there that doesn't crawl down to this end of the beach, and I think vice versa. Anyway, there is a real distinction between South End and North End.
So it's almost like you think there's two beaches.
In a lot of ways. Yeah.
So what are your chances?
I think my chances are really good.
Yeah. You think you can fill one of the 3 seats with 7 people running?
Sure do.
So how can people get in touch with you, contact you, support your campaign, or tell you to flip off? I mean, how do you want them to get in touch with you?
We're just getting started rolling now. I intend on a yard sign, blah blah blah.
What? Yard signs. Yeah. Well, I think the yard signs are the dumbest thing. I mean, now you're going to put yard signs all up and down the stair. There's going to be 50 of them, and they're going to be everybody. How do you? Is that a real good waste of money? Use of money?
I was talking to somebody who's very much in the know in town.
Who's that?
Last night.
Who's in the know?
My wife.
Seriously, who's in the know? Maybe I want to have him on the show.
No, really, I was just speaking in general.
Is it your wife?
I really was speaking to my wife about it.
Okay.
And she was talking about the different candidates, but she didn't know their names.
Well,
know,
Bruce has been on the council, so she doesn't know his name.
who?
Bruce Butcher has been on the council for.
No. Because matter of fact, one person was saying just yesterday. Another fella said, "Yeah, that Butch guy," and I said, "No, Butch is I met Butch. He's a real nice guy. He's
Right.
running for council." And he
Bruce.
goes, "Oh no, I meant the guy who was on council."
Yeah, Bruce. So
and Butcher.
well, that person,
So
that
Butch-
person didn't
Butch
know.
and Butcher becomes.
Yeah, you know,
So anyway, back to the yard sign. It's name recognition.
Yeah. Okay, so how many of the council meetings have you been to?
Zero.
Oh well, that might be a strike against you. Don't you
No.
think that helps
No, I
out? No.
I
How
could-
many have you watched?
Oh yeah, I've watched a lot. I've spent an
Okay.
awful lot of
Well,
time.
it's the same thing.
Jeez.
Watch.
You know, and
Why do you
then
say it like that? Jeez.
4 or 5 hours sometimes of boredom sitting on my porch watching this. You don't want to fast forward. You might miss a cool moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, it consumes a lot of time. But I do watch them all.
Yeah.
I watch them all.
What is your number one issue?
I think traffic keeps coming back up as
You're
number
never
one
going to
issue.
solve that. How are you going to solve traffic?
No.
You can say,
Yeah, no, but
what's
that's it.
your number one issue? Everybody knows traffic will never change.
No. Traffic. People say we're going to do this or we're going to do this as far as an answer. There is no such thing. It's a continuous thing. We have to adjust. We have to do different things. Maybe every month, every year, we have to work on this traffic all the time.
Well, there's no solution to the traffic unless you widen the bridge somehow. So what is your number one issue?
I've already told you.
It's not.
traffic.
Okay, so all right, how do you
don't
how
live
do
on the beach.
how do
I
you
live on
solve
the-
it?
You don't live on the beach. I live on the beach,
Right.
and I've got to put my vehicles in this traffic all day long.
Well, okay,
And
I
deal-
agree
and
with
I
you. It
deal
is
with and
it is a
stinks.
top issue, but how do you fix it?
No, there's no simple answer to fix it. You have to do incremental things. I really think that at some point, maybe it's 50 years of the future, maybe it's only 20 years of the future, no cars on the beach.
Oh, come on.
No,
You're getting crazy now.
Where are we going to head? Are we going to head until no cars move, and then what do you do? We're almost at the point now where no cars move. My neighbor said to me the other day about all the
You're
traffic.
running on a campaign of no cars on the beach.
No.
All right.
No.
So I agree with you. Traffic during season is the number one issue, no doubt
even
about
off
it.
season.
What is the number one issue that you're going to fix?
Number one issue that I'm going to actually fix.
Yeah.
No, I don't have one thing I can fix. I can say one thing that I will strongly address that I don't believe is being strongly addressed, and that's the homeless situation on the beach. I've got some real strong ideas about.
Share. How do you solve it?
Well, solving it is, again, it's a big picture item, but I can tell you what you don't do. You don't get involved with how do we get rid of the homeless. There's no answer in that puddle right there. You don't just get rid of the homeless. You need to deal with these people. Nationally, it's been over the years.
Okay,
People
I'm with
dealing
you.
with homeless, they recognize.
What
that
is your
mainly a
recommendation to address it?
recommendation to address? Okay, address what? The homeless being
Well,
sitting
you
on a bench.
said the homeless, so I'm trying to figure out what the.
Okay,
what
well,
your-
the ideal thing is to get them off the streets. And to get them off the streets, you need to have a place for them to be.
okay,
You're
you're
not
talking about building a shelter. Then where would you build
I'm
it?
talking about building a shelter.
Okay.
No, I'm not. There are programs around the country which exist in Lee County, by the way. Where Section 8 housing is made available. I don't know the details about.
So you're talking about busing them from the beach to Lee County somewhere, right?
Yeah, I guess if you're talking about you have a
You
bunch
can't
of
do
people.
that. That's
if
not
you have
legal.
If you had a bunch of people standing on the beach, you can load them on the
Well,
bus and take
you
them
said
somewhere.
homeless, so I'm
Yeah.
just trying to get to what the solution is.
Homeless people aren't people that can't get on a bus. They're not people that just ran out of money. These are people that have mental
Yeah.
problems.
Okay,
And
I
that's what
agree.
needs to be addressed. And you can't address it by leaving them on the street.
how do you address it then?
You can't do it. They're living underneath these buildings out here. We can't accept that as a normal. We can't.
All right, Dave, do you have a website?
Yeah, no.
Okay, you'll have a way of people that if they want to ask you questions about your campaign, just
Yeah, look for me. Look for me on Facebook.
okay. Yeah, you're on Facebook. Well, I appreciate you coming on. I know there's going to be a couple of forums coming up too. So good luck in those and good luck in the race. And thanks so much. You've been great. You've been
All right.
great.
Thank you, my friend.
Good luck in the race. All right, everybody. Dave Drum, big hand for Dave, and he's running for the town council, which has 3 openings and 7 seats. And next weekend, during the 9:30 portion of the show, we're going to have Jim Adderholt on. Jim is running for, of course, one of the 3 seats. And let's see, Jim is on I think he's on the LPA. I know I'm going to screw that up because I'm trying to get the attention of the lovely wife. So, by the way, I want to tell you about one of our other great sponsors, the folks down the street from here. Your microphone, is it on? Is your
I don't know.
Oh,
Is
there
it
you
on?
go.
Is
Your
it on?
microphone is on. What were you doing over there?
Oh, we were chit-chatting about our trip that's coming up.
Okay, before we talk about the trip, I need to get more organized here. See, I got to get here earlier. I don't get here early enough.
What were you talking about, our sponsor?
I was going to say Shuckers at
Yeah.
the Gulf Shore and the Cottage Bar is located just a few steps from the pier, heading south directly on the beach. Shuckers Restaurant opens every day at 8 a.m. and closes at midnight, and they've been a great sponsor. And we really like Bob and Stacy. They're nice people.
Yeah, if you're gonna go there for breakfast, I would suggest the coconut pancakes.
Yeah.
Are phenomenal.
Yeah,
And then
you had a big stack of those one day.
we've had a lot of good food down there, as we have here
Yes,
as well.
yes. And they also have happy hour Monday through Friday from 3 to 6, featuring discounted liquor, domestic and imported bottle and draft. That sounds funny. Imported bottle and draft beer and classic food favorites. Don't forget football. It's football season, it's playoffs. And
Coming to a close.
yeah, football season's coming to a close. I'm telling you, the weather down here, I just can't get over how nice it is
It's
down
so
here.
nice.
Well, that was interesting, and I'm going to have to go back and listen to that. I hope you folks had a chance to listen and watch that. If not, I'm going to snip it so you can hear it, and that's what I'm going to do with all the candidates. Next week, Jim Adderholt is coming on, and we had a shocker at the end of the week last week. Bruce decided somehow and some way he was going to avoid a divorce.
His wife is going to allow him.
Yeah. And Bruce said, I'm running again. And then he filed, and there you go. So he agreed that he would come on as we get closer to the election. And Dan, I'm sure Dan will come on, and all the candidates except for one. And from now on, because
You never know.
because he has not
Or do
returned.
you know?
Well, he hasn't returned my calls. So if he doesn't return my calls, I'm not going to say his name. There's no reason to say his name if he's not
Okay.
going to return my calls, because it's our show, and I can do whatever I want, and screw that. So we have really 6 good candidates, and one I think is running. So that's the way we're going to put it from now on. So, all
It'll
righty.
make it for some interesting.
So I wanted to tell everybody, if they want to find a podcast to make them laugh, sometimes it gets a little blue. But if you want to find, I was laughing out loud so much today on the drive down here on the beach to Artie Lang's podcast. Artie Lang used to be the sidekick after Jackie the Joke, whatever. Martling left the Howard Stern show. He worked for Howard Stern, but he was bad into the heroin, and he had a big time drug addiction, and
None of that sounds funny.
and he got to rehab several times, and then he's back in the drugs, and so but he's clean now for 10 months. His podcast, he's got so many funny stories. Like he had Lenny Dykstra on, who,
Oh
of course,
my
if you're a
goodness.
Mets fan, you
Yeah.
know who Lenny Dykstra is, the 1986 Mets. And the stories that he told on the Lenny Dykstra episode were just, they were laugh out loud funny. And it's now like the number 5 podcast for comedians on Apple. And it's just one of those podcasts where, hopefully he can stay clean, because he's telling stories about his problems with drug addiction, and he was incarcerated, so he's on probation now. He was in jail. He tells stories about jail. And if you have a chance to listen, it's called Artie Lang's Halfway House. And I was listening to he has comedians on. And
Well, I would say, listen, there's a podcast out there, 1 or 2 for every person.
right.
So if you're tired of listening to commercials on the radio, sorry, you can pop one of these up on your phone, connect it to your car, and it's really like an audio book. And the sky is the limit on things you can find, and specific, unique, niche. If you're interested in pens,
climbing the whatever you're trying to climb there, the
so
Adirondack Mountains or something.
No. So we're trying to plan a trip on the AT, the Appalachian Trail or Appalachian Trail, and I'm listening to some guy who lives somewhere between here and Tampa, has done multiple podcasts with different people who have done through hiking. So they've done the whole 2,000 some odd miles, and it takes 6 months, which I'm not going to do. I'm not going to leave you for 6 months, although a lot of people do. A lot of people do, and they all have a different story, and that's very interesting to me. But you can find what you're interested in. Or if you're so inclined and you're funny with a good personality, you can do your own podcast, and we can help you.
That's right. Well, speaking of that, I went up to Punta Gorda yesterday and met with some attorneys, and they want to do their own podcast because they want it to be part of their marketing plan. Now, we're still going to get to the Royal. So I know you're waiting for the Royal discussion, but hang on for a second. But you might think that you have a topic or a business or something, and it's the barrier to entry for marketing your business with a podcast is so low compared to what you have to pay for a TV ad or production of a TV ad or writing, the copy for a TV ad. Forget about newspaper. Not that anyone reads a newspaper anymore other than the one on the island, because it's the only, it's really the only thing that's going on down here. So I have to give those guys credit. They do a great job. But the barrier to entry is so low to be able to market yourself or your business that if you think you're entertaining, then you should give it a try. Yeah. And we would be happy to help you. Like the attorneys just want to get the word out about the community service that they do and things like that. But,
and I think for them, I mean, I don't know, because I wasn't in that meeting, but I think, providing some free information about general topics that people would find that interesting, or, rental landlord disputes or whatever. I mean, anytime you can educate somebody, and then if you have a problem, to call those guys because you've listened to them.
Right. And you're not going to make probably any money, maybe some money, but you're not going to make, it's not a money-making thing. It's a fun thing. And that's all it is.
It can be a money-making thing.
Yeah, well,
if you're
we're
really
happy what we're making at it. So,
yeah.
And, we're always open to new sponsors and things like that. But anyway, I have to end on this one note because it's been driving me crazy. I cannot believe that the royal family news of the last week was so much news. It just drives me crazy when Kate and Bob, or whatever their names are, decide they're going to split from the family, and it becomes like CNN News or Fox News, or people know.
Why would you?
You can't avoid it. You just can't avoid it. Everybody's talking about.
I didn't know anything about it.
Everybody's talking about these two jamokes who are probably going to start a reality show wherever they go. It doesn't make any sense to me why anybody cares about. I mean,
It's the younger one. It's Harry, right?
Whatever, Harry and whatever the Kate lady is. What does she do?
No. Kate is married to the other one.
Well, I mean, that's what I don't get.
Meghan Markle and Harry.
So why does anyone care that they say? I mean, and by the way, if you say you're breaking away from the royal family, does that mean that you can say, "Oh, Mama, I'm coming back to the royal family"? Mama. I mean, isn't that how you say it in London, Mama? Like, I want to come, or is Harry going to be knocking on the castle?
I wonder if that's
let me back in.
I wonder if that's like breaking from the family. Like, if you are in the mob and you decide out.
No. You're not allowed to just leave from the mob. I'm sorry. There's only one way in and one way out.
Well, I don't know how Buckingham Palace does it. So maybe
the Queen was pissed. I know that. She was not in the loop on that.
Really?
I mean, how long is this lady going to live, by the way?
She is, God bless her. What a lady of class.
What the hell is she on is what I want to know. How do you live? How old? She's got to be in her 90s now.
Yep, I believe so.
What? But the point is, I don't want to get now. I'm getting knee deep in the weeds now, like I give a shit about the royal family. But why do people care about the two?
People
I don't
love
get it.
that
I just
stuff.
Why though? I mean, why? When there's people that are doing, I don't want to get into the whole soapbox thing.
All right.
So what was I going to say? What was I going to say after that? Something else I know is fabulous, but anyway,
we have to share it, save it for another show.
I love the fact that it's election season, and I love the fact that it's 3 years and that we have 7 people running. What I don't love is that there are no women running for those 3 seats. That's a bummer, because men are all about dropping bombs and things like that and shooting missiles into a car.
I don't think you should be so worried about that.
I think the women are more realistic. I think at one point I would like to see the town council with 5 women on it.
I just think we should evaluate people based
I
on
know.
where
I'm
they
just saying.
stand, their personality, their track record,
You're
not
so
their
woke.
gender.
You're so woke. I never use that word. And I really don't know what it
Okay,
means.
Lil Wayne.
What does woke mean? Does anybody know what woke
That
means?
means like you're in the know or you've
But
been
what is it?
woken
Does it
up.
stand
You're
for
like,
something?
No, it's just the new word.
It's everybody's so woke these days. Oh, by the way, if you're woke, don't listen to the Artie Lang podcast because there's some stuff in there that you definitely not you're listening with your headphones on or your earbuds on, not around
I'm
the
going to
kiddies.
go out on a limb here and say, yeah, it's probably not to put on the
Right,
in
you're
the
not
car
putting
when
it on
the
the
kids
Alexa.
are around. Yeah,
You're not putting it on the Alexa. By the way, if you're listening at home, Alexa, play classic rock. How many Alexas you think went off? Well, with 4 people watching, probably none. So
All right, are
FMB
you ready to
Designs and
rhyme them?
Remodeling, dear. You need to tell everybody about Nikki and how great she is and how awesome she's been
She
for
needs
you.
to
and
come back on.
Yeah,
down.
it's been a while.
It's been too long.
she's
I know
kind of been
she's
avoiding us. Why is that?
Oh, I know I think she's been very busy, dear.
And she's moving. They
And
moved.
she's
That's right.
moving. Yes.
FMB Designs and Remodeling. They're on the Facebook. They're on the World Wide Web,
They're on the beach
and they're on the beach.
and they're
Yeah.
ready to do.
They remodel
improve.
bathrooms and living rooms and dining rooms and she sheds and all that kind of stuff. And wow, this has just been a great day. It's been tie my shoes and it's been locked in my car. You're really going to have to go back and rewind to all this. It's been fabulous. Jim Adderholt next week, and then the rest of the crew will be on. So thank you all so much. We love you all. Have a great Christmas and a happy New Year, and we'll see you soon.
You are weird.